Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. In this one I hope you will learn something new and useful about the game, no matter how experienced you are really. Let me show you 30 things that you probably didn't know you could do. Hey girls and guys, welcome to another tips and tricks video. This project has taken a while to complete, but as usual I think it's worth all the time and effort because the end result is rich in information that can be helpful to the Fallout 76 community in general. Now, I have made another tips and tricks video some months ago and you guys simply loved it, so I decided to make another one, even better than the last, hopefully, with tons of secrets and details that I've gathered over time. Some of the following points are more like secrets that nobody is really aware of, but they really should, because most of these tips can drastically improve your quality of life and gameplay. I hope you'll enjoy the content and learn something new. Let's start! Starting slowly but steadily, we have an exploration point that I discovered a while ago, and it got me really intrigued because you can go out of the map borders, sign with fences. You can basically reach the compass marks at the very northeast of the map, above the Maya region. You can first find an unmarked house with creatures around it like culpers, but if you keep following the east fences, you'll eventually find a crack that allows you to explore beyond the fences. What's even more surprising is that you can find a fixed spawn of Marluks there, with a Marluk queen in a nearby unmarked lake, as well as a tree path and shelter with nothing much on top of it. But it's great to know the game has so many hidden places out there. Even when it seems to be unreachable, you can still get there somehow. I haven't explored it intensely, so maybe there is way more into this area than what I'm showing here. So guys, feel free to explore and to share what you found in here. It wouldn't surprise me if this would be a new location for wastelanders. Did you know that you can cure all your diseases at once? Whether you have 1 or 5 diseases at once, just head to White Spring. Around the golf club there is some sort of garden dome with a sulfur fountain inside. It was basically where the Halloween event started. It's very easy to find. Now, if you drink from it, magic will happen. Like a miracle, you will be cured of any afflictions you might have. I know it can be bothersome to come here. After all, you can just use disease cures or antibiotics, but you can save a lot of resources by coming here. I usually forget about this and it's such a shame because it can be so beneficial. But hey, here's a quick solution if you have just run out of disease cures and you don't want to be sick anymore. I've had several people in the past asking me how I play and record cinematics for my videos. As you probably know, you can't move during photo mode, you can only do emote positions or facial expressions. But there is a way to disable your interface and make the game look like photo mode. All you have to do is head to the settings, then disable and lower down the UAD opacity line. Voila, you can now play without any interface, but make sure to know well your key controls, or it will be hell to do anything since you won't know what to click or what to do. Now, with the photo mode, you can trigger a bug when you are facing your back towards a wall. Make sure to use the photo mode with your back facing the wall and you will enable photo mode in a buggy way, like you're out there in space territory. But there is a benefit here. You can basically see the entire instance you are at, including how many levels exist and even check hidden locked rooms. People have been using this method to view rooms that have not been released by Bethesda just yet, but they are in-game. So next time you're exploring an instance and you're wondering what else is there, you might want to use this trick to see beyond your eyesight. The functional camera doesn't have much use these days with most daily and weekly challenges gone, but you can use it for something else. While farming legendary bosses at locations with lots of enemies, you can kill all the waves at once, knowing that later on you can easily find the legendary bodies. if there are any, of course. Once you're finished killing everything, use your camera and slowly move through the bodies or meat piles. Check the names in the right top corner, and when you see a legendary name, then aim closer and closer until you understand where the body is. You can also use this trick to find flying bodies like Mr. Gootsy's or the imposter SHEEPSQUATCH. You are welcome. Another really useful trick is to spawn your power armor to unstuck yourself. Sometimes I get stuck between objects, I can't jump or get out at all, so the only way is or was to relog or restart the game. It is quite bothersome, or it used to be. Now I can just spawn my power armor and wait a few seconds. The animation will bug out, you won't see your character getting inside the frame, but it will, don't worry. After a few seconds you will see your character inside the power armor and you have unstuck yourself. Practical, no? You can just proceed your gameplay without any relogs. I have been using the agility perk Escape Artist. It's only one rank, but it is so useful when you play outside of power armor. In fact, I can dodge or avoid being attacked constantly during events like Scorched Earth or even Iranian Fever, where you can find several other players. This perk doesn't always work, it's not 100%, but usually it will de-aggro enemies that are locked on you. You gain temporary stealth and you can easily lose enemies if you're around other players. Whenever I am being poked at, I just crouch and move away. This is a really useful perk for bloodied builds, where you run around with very low HP and any enemy could potentially take you down. Perfectly preserved pies used to be a rarity in game. These automatic machines have a very low chance to ever pick one up. In fact, I've only got 3 or 4 times since I started playing during the beta. The chance is really low, but there is a trick to get them, at least 1 per day or every 24 hours. Just head to the roof of UNSTUCK where you can find paint cans and a stack on top of a table with a chair nearby. On that table you will find a perfectly preserved pie on a plate, ready to be picked up. No wonder so many people have been selling these fancy pies these days. It's no longer a rare item. There is a place where you can pick up about every type of NUKA-COLA in-game. Head to the fraternity row in Morgantown, then walk up the road until you find the EXTRACTORS house. In the employees room inside, you will find a heavily decorated room. It's the NUKA-COLA room, of course. In the wall shelf, you will find 4 NUKA-COLAs, usually all different ones, but they are not always the same. I have found every type of NUKA-COLA here, coming in different days. So if you want to collect or drink different colas, this is the place to visit. Also, inside this locked fridge, you will find NUKA-COLAs every now and then. It is possible to spot enemies through walls and objects with the pink clouds. I used to be ignorant about what it was, but now I do. It's a double effect from the 8 item berry mentats. It will boost your intelligence by 5 points, and it will give you the ability to see enemies at a short distance by highlighting them with the pink smoke. It looks strange, very strange, but this is what the buff does, and not everyone knows about it, judging by the amount of people who have asked about it in the past. Well, now you should know what it is. Oh dear lord, this point is a lifesaver and I only discovered it about a month ago. My crops are constantly getting damaged and I always had to get seeds and fertilizer to repair them. Guess what? You do not repair them. Never. Ever. Just scrap them because the game will give you back what you need to actually repair. For free. This means to scrap and then replant them under food, and you don't need to spend any materials to repair or replant. It is basically a free repair, let's call it that way. A great trick, really useful, at least for me. If you have purifiers, extractors, or a scrap bot in your camp, then make sure to add logs to everything, or people will steal your resources. It is human nature to take what's free, so double check them every now and then, because people can also pick locks, and then the next person can take your stuff for free. My water purifier, for example, is constantly getting locked picked, and then I run out of water when I'm not actively playing, like doing events. So it can be a hassle sometimes. That's why I learned the hard way to always check my locks. Renaming your gear can save you so much time, especially if you are carrying around lots of gear and costumes. Simply add an A to the start of your gear's name and then you can find it first in your inventory tabs. This trick can also allow you to keep all your active gear together in one single view, like armor, power armor, and under armor, even favorite outfits. It's amazing! You can rename your weapons as well, so make sure to organize your inventory and save time while searching for a particular item. This works like wonders for unwielding sets, for example, which typically show at the very end of the tab. Pistols are generally an unwanted weapon type by Fallout 76 players, mostly because the damage and attributes are not so great, even with high-end mods. But did you know that you can actually turn pistols into rifles? I had no idea until very recently. Yes, that's true. By changing the grip of pistols, some grip mods allow you to transform any pistol into a rifle. Most won't make the weapons much stronger, but some can actually make a difference. That's really a nice touch, and I believe most people have no idea this is even possible to do. Well, now you do. This is another point that should be obvious, but for me it wasn't for a while. So I have upgraded a lot of my unyielding armor pieces and then I wanted to sell the old ones, but it didn't show up anywhere in the trading lists, like at my vendor machines or in player trading windows. That's because you are not able to trade gear with skins. You must remove any skin or paint at an armor bench before you can make the item tradable again. If you don't, then well, you can't really sell or trade it. That's as simple as that. Are you getting overencumbered quite often? Then here are a few tricks to ensure you can always fast travel to a vendor at least. In Strength, Strong Back, Traveling Pharmacy, Pack Rat, and Martial Artist will drastically decrease your carry weight. Just swap your normal perks to get more inventory space for fast traveling and you should be good to go. Another quick trick is to spawn in your power armor cases. Each one weighs 10 lb. For example, I have 2 frames. Spawning them means I get to free 20 lb. That's already enough if you are slightly overencumbered. So make sure to use these tricks and you will probably never have to deal with harsh overencumbered issues again. If you have been doing main in side missions, you surely have endless notes and holotapes in your inventory. Good for us that it weighs nothing, but they can cause chaos when you're browsing and trying to find a specific quest item. That's why you should store them all in your stash. Next time you need to find a seed bank holotape in Vault 94 or find a new quest item, I can assure you that it won't take you dozens of scroll downs. This trick made my life so much easier when I did vault raids on a daily basis. It's totally worth doing it. Have you ever lost items when you're trying to drop something quickly to a friend or even a new player? Well, make sure to drop an useless item first to ensure you spawn a paper bag. Yes, because there is a bug where items can just go under the map and then you lose it. Then you can safely drop whatever you want or just use the trading option, that's even safer. Now, if your paper bag is stuck, you can easily move it by dropping something else nearby. Just keep in mind that if you move too far away from your first paper bag, you will spawn a new one instead. I hope these tricks will be helpful to you in the future. How many rare outfits are there in Fallout 76? Way too many to count, I'd say, but some of them are not impossible to get, such as the colored ASYLUM uniforms. I've been hunting them and I've just finished my collection yesterday. It's not impossible to find them at all. It's actually just grinding. Visit them every day, several times, server jump, and eventually you will find what you are looking for. Also, trading is an important matter here. If you are a collector or love to dress in style, then you might want to get your hands on some of the rarest outfits in-game, such as the ones from the Charleston Secret Vendor, such as the Hunter's Long Coat, or even the 002% ones from region events, like the leather or traveling coats, but you do have to play a lot, trade a lot, or be super lucky to get them. There are secret vendors in Appalachia, and you've probably heard of them before. There are at least 3 of them: Gran and Charlie de Mumu, Mr. Squeeze, which is the lemonade vendor, and the Charleston secret vendor. Now, the first one has a specific route and he travels all around the map, but the other 2 spawn in random events that can be triggered in specific locations. For the lemonade robot, he often appears in the Mire and Cranberry Bog random event spawns. For the Charleston vendor, he doesn't spawn often, but when he does, it's in the forest region, normally around the Charleston train station. Feel free to check my farming guide if you have no idea on how to find him. There is a pharmacy or medical bay at the ENCLAVE, and you can get plenty of medical supplies and aid items from the vendor stations here. In fact, you can learn aid recipes and even collect some freebies every 24 hours. It's a win-win top location if you have never visited before. I came to the Enclave dozens of times before I learned this department even existed. And no, it's not the same room where you can purchase the expensive mutation recipes. Actually, I always buy my antibiotics here for my daily adventures. It's a handy location to know about. This is a great discovery by Giddy when he used to play at least. He once told me that paint cans are an excellent source of lead, but I rarely farm leads. But lately I decided to investigate and I found out that you get 5 lead per paint can, no matter the color. That's impressive, way better than farming robots, and it's a great alternative to the Lucky Mine. A few locations with these paint cans are the Watauga High School, at the Arc Room to be exact, also at West Tech, inside and on the very top near the perfectly preserved pie, as I have shown before, and inside the Blackwater Mine at the entrance to the left side. Don't forget that the paint cans have a cooldown, so server jumping won't work here. For Fallout First members, you must know this trick, which allows you to reset your private server whenever you want. Just make sure nobody is in your server, in this case other Fallout First friends. Just head out of the server, go to the main menu or close the game altogether. Wait at least 5 minutes in another mode or lobby, then return to your private server, and that should do the trick. All your cooldown spawns will be reset and back to life, which makes legendary farming really easy and quickly, if you are lucky enough to find them, of course. Still in private worlds, but this trick also works for adventure. Some servers are not in a great shape and they can deteriorate your gameplay. For example, in a dying private world, you will often meet a non-legendary Scorchbeast Queen. She will just spawn with no stars due to a mob budget system that gets super buggy. To avoid such events, look for legendaries in your server. If you don't find any at all, then it's time to move on or reset it. It's not a great idea to nuke a private world where you can find legendary bosses. I'm just warning you. If you can prevent it, then you should do it. The survival tent is very overpowered and underused in my opinion. There is so much value attached to this new item. First of all, you can spawn it to use it as protection from melee enemies. They can't deal any damage to you up there in the tent's roof. Secondly, you can take cover behind the walls of the tent. Yep, that is correct. You can also instantly scrap and store all your junk if you are slightly over-encumbered. And you can cook food at any time and even stash normal items whenever you want. Is that enough reason for you to start using your survival tent more often? I surely use mine all the time. What about SHEEPSQUATCH weapons? They really intrigue people. In fact, some have asked me, what's the burning staff that I have? It's just a legendary SHEEPSQUATCH staff with a burning mod. When you learn the base weapon plans, it drops from the free range event by the way, you can roll these same weapon types at the purveyor when you choose melee boxes. It's the exact same for the fixer and the bare arm. This weapon is in game and you can easily get it too if you farm free range events. All the base weapons and mods for the SHEEPSQUATCH drop here. Building can be fun, but building with a group of friends can be a blast. Have you ever tried? Head to a workshop, team up, and start building whatever you want. The budget is quite high, and there are no limits to your imagination. In this case, we created some chaotic, noisy workshop for Halloween, and it was so messy that it turned out to be hilarious. Maybe the right definition here is a troll construction. But who cares, right? If it makes you happy or gives you a great laugh, then it was surely worth it. It only cost some scrap materials anyway, so go ahead and build with your friends. It is fun. Well, here's another point that I have recently discovered. You can build your camp under the map and on top of high environmental things too. These bugs are getting crazy, I know, but right now this is totally possible and people are doing it more and more. To build under or inside the map, you need to use stairs and then an interactive item like a chair or a musical instrument. Once you place them on the stairs going under the map, you interact with the object and it will also be inside the map. Then you build whatever you want there. Building on top of things works just as building normally. You only have to get as high as you possibly can first. Underwater exploration is also possible in Fallout 76. Equip the endurance perk Aqua Boy or Girl to breathe underwater and take no radiation from water sources. Now, there are not so many places with deep water where you can swim. They are mostly on the very west of the map though. I have explored quite a bit and I didn't find much, to be honest with you. The rivers are normally empty, it's only water and rocks and some fishes swimming around. However, some people have found several things underwater like skeletons and even old trash. I managed to find a locked safe and a sunk boat. That's all. As the final point for this video, I present you something I had legit no idea until a few days ago. I found this on my own by chance. I was entering Watauga to simply gather footage for the previous video, and when I entered the town through the main roads, I saw this big board changing randomly, and I stopped to see what it said and what had changed. That's when I noticed that this board detects people. It will count players inside of the Watauga city, and that's such a nice detail. Maybe you guys know about this forever, but I didn't. So I decided to share just in case you are still in the dark about this one, like I was for so long. Huh. These are all the 30 things that you can do in Fallout 76, which you probably didn't know yet, but now you should. They are all quite valuable and they can make your life so much easier, in my opinion. Which point surprised you the most and how much did you learn here today? Do let me know everything in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then make sure to leave a like to let me know. Anyway, that's going to be everything for this one. If you are new around, don't forget to click on the subscribe button below and the notification bell as well, so you get notified when new content comes out. Also, I have a Patreon page if you'd like to support me in any other ways. The link is right below the video. Take care everyone and brace yourselves for the upcoming Christmas event. Take care. Adios. Bye bye.